Welcome to 2025. The future is bleak with the whole pandemic going on, but we met some good Christian friends in the way. Starring the greatest Christian genius of all time, Joshua Weseley as Roy. Actors that could be replaced by a plank of wood. Communism. And of course our greatest guest star of all, the power of Jesus. Sit back and enjoy the show. Wow, folks, JMAA is going to talk about a hot new movie. 2025, The World Enslaved by a Virus, directed by the Weseley brothers. Let's just cut to the chase. More specifically, directed, produced, and acted by Joshua Weseley, who's the biggest star of this movie. We got a big fucking Tommy Wiseau here. At least Tommy Wiseau didn't groom a 14-year-old when he was in his 20s. Joshua also keeps a right-wing Christian YouTube channel where he talks about child pornography and Pornhub, cancel culture, and much more trouble than I can really fucking account for. I don't know. The whole channel's in German and I don't understand German that much other than the Wolfenstein 3D nonsense. He also made a Christian relationship advice app called Lifelong. Man, this guy is a renaissance man of Christianity. #1 best-selling director. Yeah, don't keep too high standards of yourself, buddy. So in case you couldn't tell, yes, this is a Christian movie, made for and by hardcore fucking Christians. The synopsis of this movie says it all. It is the year 2025. Since the outbreak of the coronavirus in 2020, the world has not been the same. A communist system with a single world government has been established. English has been chosen as a world language. Contacts have been reduced to a minimum. Christianity has been banned completely. The Constitution, how we knew it, no longer exists. In Germany, a small group of young Christians start an underground revolution to reunite Christians to regain freedom. Oh no, dreaded communism. And of course, Christianity has to be banned completely. Who would have thought this movie is made by a mentally deranged right-winger Christian who feels persecuted all the time? Anyway, let's step into this movie knowing we're off to a good start with this crappy shield logo. I could do a better job at this, honestly. Let me just design a logo in Photoshop and... Oh no! Wait! The movie starts with a chase scene out of nowhere where our protagonist is driving in a broken car for some reason. And he's driving in a chase like he's actually chill and shit. Casually driving on a fucking chase. And yeah, this movie can't even do a blue cinematic filter properly. Oh yeah, pump up the balloon, brother! Okay, you wanna know what's cute? If you ain't got the budget to buy off a prop actual police car, you could just put one of these cheap-ass blue beacons on top of a regular old-ass car and a license plate that says police. That will definitely be a cop. Okay, so like the cop is shooting at our guy and suddenly there's a drone shot. Look, this movie ain't even 5 minutes in and it has the consistency of donkey diarrhea. One cop car stopped chasing him. The cops come out and... Come on, that can't be cops. That's just how regular old terrorists in movies dress. There's gonna be a cheap cop costumes in Germany that don't necessarily replicate illegally those are real cops in Germany. There's another cop car chasing him and our protagonist does a U-turn and then stops flat, but then another transition to a drone shot to make it seem like he... What? Cinematography does not work that way. Okay, so suddenly the guy stops the car and why the fuck the jump cuts? It does not make sense with these jump cuts. These jump cuts don't make sense. At this point, whoever edited this movie just threw a bunch of cliche video editing tricks, like he will throw shit into a wall to see what sticks. Really weird drone shots, action transitions, jump cuts, and our protagonist just stops in the chase and offers himself to police. For no reason, he just offers himself to the police like nothing. Did a car just run out of gas? You could have said it, but nope, no explanation at all. All I could hear is a shot for every jump cut they make. Again, gunshot sounds placed probably in post for no reason, and the car just stops dry. And he just stops dry and gets out of the car into the hands of the police. What a fucking dummy. So now the movie goes on and there's this interrogation scene now, and Oh my god, that cop's head is gonna be the greasiest and biggest of them all. It looks like a fucking meme drawing I will make.
You know what that is?
Sure I do. Those are mine.
That's a felony. No, even worse. It's high treason to own those books.
A fucking Bible and a boring-ass German law book are high treason. Is this movie high? Aside of the obvious German accent these people got for 90% of the movie, the audio is so goddamn shit. I could just record this movie in a toilet and it will make no difference. But hey, I guess this movie's budget is of a currywurst in Berlin, so I might be gentle with this sort of shit. If it wasn't for the fact that this movie is awful in general. Yes, of course, give me a flashback into an outdoors church because, of course, this movie gotta be Christian. The Christian themes of this movie are less subtle than a Michael Bay movie.
Dude, if you do that again, I'm gonna punch you. I'm not kidding.
And don't forget the widest cream of the widest people.
A world full of peace, love, and ice cream.
Is this guy gonna give me a monologue about peace, freedom, and whatever it is? I'm sorry, buddy, but you're in Germany. More freedom is not compatible with non-American countries. Tell me about the widest of ice cream. Must be vanilla.
Life is different now. We can't change that. We might as well just adapt to it.
I don't want to live a life like that, where I can't do the most important thing of my life, to believe.
Yes, believe, because you sure believe in Jesus when you drop into the hands of your enemy there.
This book was the legal code of Germany, before the global state developed and English got a world language.
Nah, it couldn't be that everyone's speaking in bad Germanic English because they wanted to appeal to American evangelists. It's totally because communism made it like that, even though English is not a very communist language. This movie is the thickest big shit. It goes on with so much exposition to explain the plot of the movie, and that's just very bad story writing in there. There's a general rule in filmmaking that is show, don't tell, that most good films are good at doing, and this is not most films.
Their excuse was virus, something they sold us as a super deadly killer virus.
Oh, sweetie, don't get me into that anti-vaxxer territory, crowd cowboy. The guy goes on for like several minutes explaining every single minutious detail about this from the German code and that about more freedom and possibly ice cream, and the cop just keeps listening like he's interested. And then we go back to 3 months ago because the whole movie is a flashback. That is some really bad storytelling right there.
Guys, it's Jack.
This can't be true.
Arrested, tortured, and killed.
Okay, first of all, 10 out of 10 acting, Oscar worthy. Second, who the fuck is Jack? Why is there fucking in your dorm room?
He was a friend, our brother.
Oh no, such sad, very emotion, so drama.
We were hiding for the last 5 years. We just met.
Okay, but if you were hiding together for the last 5 years, then why do you say you just met? Weren't you hiding together in those years? Like, what?
What kind of life is that? I agree with Roy. We have to do something. We cannot hide in here forever. Because we know the truth. Guys, don't we all believe in a loving and protective God who has a plan for us?
Darling, if your God was so loving and protective, he wouldn't get you in a situation like this in the first place for 5 fucking years.
And I cannot see another family member die. I wanted to stop. Guys, I'm sorry, but I'm out. I gotta quit.
No, but...
Quit what? Quit hiding? What the fuck?
I want to make a difference. I want to change the world we're living in. And I want to make Jesus be glorified again.
Yes, you too can make Jesus be glorified again. Like in 2020, where totally Jesus was glorified. Asshole.
You know, 5 years ago we watched those films about the countries in the Middle East where Christianity was illegal. Those movies seem so far away.
True.
And now, 5 years later, we are exactly in the same situation.
Of course! You gotta start blaming brown people for this. It has to be about them now. It's just like what Alex Jones said, the socialist satanic system of Islam. Merry Christmas! I'm saying Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays! These two go on a tirade about how Christianity was illegal 2,000 years ago and all that shit. And this is the point where any normie will realize this is just a really bad attempt at Christian propaganda. 10 minutes in, that is. You can tell they're trying to obviously shoehorn this Christian dog shit down our throats with this movie, and they miserably fail at it, constantly. But okay, what's these two dingbats plan then? Well, to graffiti paint a bunch of Jesus fish all over the place in hopes they can find other Christians. What a great idea. I'm pretty sure that won't have any repercussions in this communist state.
The way it is, the way it is, it's no mystery.
Oh, hell yeah! Stolen copyright music montage. Something I won't particularly dance to because otherwise YouTube will crucify me. Also, why are they wearing masks? What the fuck? Am I supposed to be part of the evil communist COVID virus plot to enslave humankind? You can tell me you can vandalize a bunch of random properties in the park, but you still are a nice boy enough to wear a mask. I'm pretty sure that even in filmmaking, vandalizing random property on the street might be illegal too. I'm not particularly simping for the cops or the state or the law because I'm an anarcho-communist and I have my principles, but if you're making a film, at least you're gonna be aware of not just the legalities of asking written permission to film in a location, but also the legalities of not vandalizing such location. Well, that must be working at least. It all caught the attention of someone following them. And to be honest, the shot with the words hate plaster on a graffiti is probably as subtle as a fucking Panzer tank. And they also got fuck Jesus? Wow. Of course they were going to be caught by cops. What a genius idea, genius. Duh. Okay, genius, your girl got shot. Genius. But they are safe when the cop gets knocked from the back and the girl is healed with something that can't be used as a band-aid. They go back to the same fucking dorm room they were before, and they meet a guy who saved them, who completely knew the fish they were graffitiing was a Christian symbol.
Yeah, and so... Are you...
Am I Christian? Yeah.
Oh, couldn't you tell he's a Christian? He has a rosary on his neck. Of course he's a Christian, lest you think he's a Buddhist. And there's more exposition going on about how this big-headed goon was in the military and blah blah blah. Hey, you know what we should try this time? Spraying more fish on the street. Good idea, genius. That should work last time without getting you in trouble. Also, does the lamp there really need a fucking rosary hanger there? Is the movie not Christian enough? Here, let me place a bunch more crosses in here in case it wasn't noticeable this is a Christian hideout. We also jumped into a white girl cereal commercial for no reason other than to show us he's reading a letter from her mom telling her to not risk her life for people she doesn't even know. And back to more army guy exposition and on and on. And it's not even well acted. It all sounds like casual conversation you'd have anywhere outside of the movie. Fucking YouTubers like me will do a better job at acting than these folks will do. Start playing guitar and then we jump into the scene of the evil communist police station where the serial girl gets jump scared by a cop.
Those the latest cases?
Yes, everything in there.
Excellent. I'll give them to Sergeant Lucinda, my daughter. She'll take care of it.
We must attack them with biomagnetized peptides. We jump into some random hacker scene where she's mining 14 Bitcoin. Jesus, she must be a rich crypto kitty there. Again, this scene just comes out of nowhere. It probably is intended presumably to do some character building, but it's so fucking shit. It's all so fucking shit. By the way, nice game of Razor Mouse.
You guys wanna hear a joke?
No, please, don't tell jokes.
What did Corona do to Jesus?
Nothing.
See, this is why I tell you not to tell jokes. Fucking Kramer yelling nonsense at the Love Factory was funnier than this shit. Please don't look that up. And here we go, another spraying montage with stolen copyright music, and the army boy is killing cows for some reason, then back to spraying, and Roy gets suddenly spooked by a Goomba graffiti. See, this kind of stuff is the kind of stuff that will make a holiday video or a home video, not an actual film. Having casual fun with a scene doesn't work unless it's part of the actual plot, or unless it's not so badly acted. Then out of nowhere, the hacker sees our gang walk around and starts researching about Jesus. I don't get it. You just saw a bunch of random people walking down the street and now you assume they were graffitiing this Jesus fish all along? She appears then on our gang storm room to tell them she's a hacker named Holly. I swear I couldn't pick a more subtle name than that. And she wants to help.
So, what kind of stuff can you hack?
More or less everything.
She can hack everything!
Even the police?
Might take an hour or two, but yes.
Well, yes, definitely, I can hack everything except hacking the actual police. Might take me a couple of hours, but I can surely magically hack everything. And this is totally in the movie. In fact, she says she can find all the Christians in the world by just magically hacking, so they can build an underground army of Christians. Yeah, good luck with that. It's a plan so good, Roy's gonna be arrested in 3 months. Oh, that's the spot. More stolen copyright music montage. Then the serial girl sneaks into the computer room and turns out she's been working for Roy all along. Even though the movie couldn't explicitly make it clear properly like a proper film should. She's in charge of dropping Christian crazes and save them for Roy's group by just deleting a bunch of words in a Microsoft Word document that says Christian conspiracy. You know, it's not just that this movie is less subtle than a Mel Gibson movie, but the plot is so disassociated with each point of the plot that it couldn't make a logical sense to make an audience understand what's going on. It's so amateur even. They have these long exposition dialogue parts at places, but even then they couldn't make any sense to connect anything. Now we move on to a shot of Roy giving a speech to a handful of people? Really? Is that all the questions he could get? What a shitty fucking job, isn't it? And we have to see the stock footage of the world to know that he magically spreads Christianity all over the world with yet another stolen copyright music montage. Later we see how a distressed kid comes to Roy to tell him that his mom, sister, and everyone, but coincidentally him, have been arrested for being Christians and how they're gonna be executed for high treason and shit.
So first of all, your mom and your sister and those that got arrested, they're gonna go to heaven.
Dude, I warned you. I said I was gonna do that if you did that again.
Yes, truly comforting to know that my whole family who's gonna get murdered by the communist state is going to heaven. That's a relief, yes. What the fuck are you talking about? Goes on into a boring sermon for a while. I don't have any idea why this scene keeps going on. Give some Bible questions to the poor kid, like that's gonna do anything to saving this poor family. And more stolen copyright music montage. Jesus, at least you could license that music or make your own. I know you have the budget of a fucking currywurst in Berlin, but you could afford even a shitty $5 composer for a change. Come on. Now we got to the point where the police chief is giving us a communist speech about how these Christians are a threat and they all must be killed and executed. You know, last time I checked, Christianity was a threat, wasn't a fucking crusades. That's just a little bit too far from my memory.
These revolutionaries threaten our system. What we fought so hard for. They want to destroy our system. They want to bring back the deadly structures and the diseases of the past. They want to kill every human on Earth.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that praying, singing, and using Bible quiz DVDs is gonna definitely kill every human on Earth. I just call it a coronavirus. It's spreading everywhere and it's going to kill us all. So now the protagonists get caught by police and Roy runs away. Sure, it sounds like a good idea to pray away the police, but like, yeah, that's definitely gonna save you.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. I know a couple of people who see him as a
It's Christian rap music. I just can't. This movie is killing me. Fuck. Where's the cat? camera tilted sideways. They're pulling a Battlefield Earth on this. They're doing the same mistakes that a fucking John Travolta Scientology movie. Fuck! Roy runs away and keeps running away with a flashlight in broad daylight. If you couldn't tell already, this movie is very cheap in every sense of the word, but especially in every negative aspect of it. I can easily tell you this movie was made with a budget of a fucking Berlin kebab, and there are way better films that were made with zero money. I just needed to look into a list for really great films that made with less budget than this to know. You could even make a better film with just your iPhone and a bunch of friends. I'm not even kidding. Of course, I think most of the budget went into the cheap drone to make those drone shots of Roy praying aloud in the mountain just to make it cinematic. This movie keeps abusing these drone shots. It's like the particular meme of this movie, because otherwise I couldn't just pretend this movie is cinematic enough. #1 best-selling director there, buddy.
Sir, it's getting worse every day. Random Christians meeting at random times and at random places.
It's so random, dude!
And what I've been noticing is in about 15 different cities, Christians have been gathering in groups of about 10 to 15 that I've seen.
15 cities? Groups of 10 to 15? But I thought Christianity was all around the globe now. What a piss poor job, Roy. Then our police chief talks to Lucinda about a miniature train for no reason, and the plan they make out is to make everyone in the country swear to the Constitution every morning. What an evil communist plan, to swear to a fucking Constitution!
I'm good, but I just heard something that might be really interesting.
Oh, okay. What's up?
So, they know that there is a group. They know there's your group.
Do they know our names?
I don't think so, but they know that there is a group organizing and bringing people to God, and they planned to do something. They want a type of confession, to swear unto the Constitution, that must be said every morning.
Really? That's crazy.
Wow, such evil plan. Much evil. Very bad. Wow. So Holly starts becoming Christian now. See, this will be an efficient Christian propaganda if it wasn't so fucking shitty. And it's only effective to anybody who's already a hardcore Christian. Even though I already read a review on IMDb that said it's even harmful to Christians. It's that fucking shit. Also, who still uses DVDs in 2025? What the fuck? Luke comes to the hideout to tell the guys to stop what they're doing because they're also worried that more people are being executed, and the whole conversation goes like this. Hey, guys, could you stop? No. Okay, I'm going to tell the government. That's what he does, actually. You'll see. So Roy and this girl are going on a stroll in the next scene and wait. Oh god. This guy looks like he stepped on some serious cow shit.
You know, I actually think that I fell in love with you.
Please, Joshua, you don't know where this is going.
I think. I feel the same.
And every day, every moment, every breath you take, I choose you.
Hey, here's a fun fact, kids. This blonde girl character it's been played by the same girl Joshua has been grooming since he was 14. Oh boy! And yes, definitely give a rosary to Holly unless you think she's a Zoroastrist. Then we got a scene where our serial girl gets caught by a surgeon girl, but then I think she believes in God now. She regrets everything, blah blah blah. Look, this is another exposition dialogue bit that I'm definitely gonna skip, okay? In another chunk of film where Roy and the gang live stream a sermon to the whole world, I'd put this bit, but it's still useless fluff. And what do you know? Luke has betrayed Roy. He spills the beans on Roy's location, and soon after a police raid his hideout, while he somehow knew they were coming and is escaping in his shitty broken car. The same chase scene from the start of the movie, and what do you know? He gets executed. I'm pretty sure praying away your execution will save you, buddy. All the while, we have these funny wedding flashbacks. I don't know what they are, but I'll tell you what's funny about this. All of this effort from Joshua's character has been all for nothing. Special thanks to our Lord Jesus Christ. I just can't with this movie. This movie killed me. This is a very awful movie. Awful at being a propaganda Christian film, awful at being a film in general, and awful being an ego boost for Joshua Weseley himself. Fucking YouTubers from all across the globe have done a way better job for a movie than this guy, whether it is Fred, Smosh, or whatever. But you know what? This has been funny. It's been funny because it's so shitty in every conceivable way. It's quite a blast. Hell, I've heard about the Cool Cat movies. I heard about The Room. Even heard about Troll 2. They got nothing to this movie. Because this is single-handedly the worst Christian film ever made to date. So yeah, I might be waiting now for a sequel to this movie where the plot is all about the age of consent being illegal.
Wanna help support the show? Join the Goon Fund today at jmaa.tv/joingoonfund. Gain access to behind-the-scenes content, early access to videos, source codes for games, artwork, and much, much more.
Burger King.